Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey, right here on the Dice Tower. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be taking a look at this little fella right here, Pies. This is a small little card. It says it is a tricky card game. See what they did there? It does have a trick-taking feel to it, and it's from AllPlay. Let's get down to the table and take a look, shall we? The game takes place in 3 rounds, and whoever has the most points at the end of those 3 rounds is the winner. Now, people are going to be playing cards out of their hands and then choosing a card from that trick, so to speak, to add to their tableau. Then they're going to be using those cards, which are generally going to be ingredients, to bake pies with certain recipes during the course of the game. So the recipes, you can just basically have the idea that they are going to be different kinds of poker hands, basically. So you've got a run of 3, 4, or 5 cards will be recipes. Then you have a pair, 3 of a kind, 2 pair, 3 pair, a full house, that kind of stuff. So basically, these are the kinds of recipes that you're going to be able to try to bake throughout the course of the game. And the laurel wreaths with the number in there is how many victory points that recipe is going to score you at the end of the game. So that gives you an idea of what you're doing as far as scoring points during the course of the round. Basically, people are going to be playing cards out of their hand. The person who plays the highest card is going to take the number 1 marker, second highest, third highest, fourth highest, and then out of the cards that are played, the person who played the highest card will have first choice of which card they're going to take, and so forth and so on, with the 4th person also able to take a plum as kind of a concession. So generally speaking, let's just choose a card here. So this person plays this card, this person plays that card, this person plays this card, and this person back here will play this card. So 19 is the highest, so they would choose first, 17 would choose second, the 10 would choose third, and then this person would choose to go last. Well, would be going last, but they're going to also be able to get a plum. So the cards that are out here, you have a couple of recipe cards, one that's worth 6 points and one that's worth 8. And then you have one that has the dog symbol on it, which represents this little dude right here. And then one that represents this action here, which is basically you can steal a card from someone else. So the problem with this card for the first player is that there's not going to be anybody to take it. So they could take this card and basically just not be able to carry out the action. But if you're looking for lemons, then maybe you will. What I think this person would do, however, would take this apple card, and whenever you take an ingredient, you're going to carry out the action that's on the card. This one simply means that you get the dog to come sit in front of your tableau. What the dog does is he protects you from the person who's going to steal. So this person knows that they'll have this ingredient, and they'll be able to have that ingredient after somebody takes this card as well, because you can't steal from the person that has the dog. Now, the only way that the dog will move is if somebody else on a subsequent round chooses to take an ingredient that has the dog symbol on it. So the first person has chosen, they put their token back in. Number 2 now gets to choose, and we'll go for the point card here. Number 3 will basically say, no, I think I'm going to take this card and I'm going to steal this card from you. And then number 4 will basically take this, and they will also take a plum to go with it. So that being the last part of that round, now the person who played the highest card, which was this person over here, now leads. So they will play this card, then in clockwise fashion, all of these cards will be played out again, like so. So now, first person is this person over here, second is this person over here, third is this person here, and fourth is this person. So now the person in first place is going to say, well, I'm going to choose this one because I do actually have 3 different recipes that are here. three different ingredients rather, for this recipe, because that's what this is looking for, A, B, and C. So it wants three different ingredients. We have blackberries, plums, and cherries. So what they can do is they can turn these three cards in. These two will basically, the plum will go back here. This will go back to a discard pile. And then this card will simply be flipped over. And that is points that they will be able to keep later on in the game. We did actually forget to carry this out. So they actually have the dog sitting in front of them over there. So I had to fix that. Sorry. Now number two is going to... the second person is going to choose this card. What this card will do is it will give them 3 pie tokens that they will be able to have. Now, what these pie tokens will do, first of all, they only last for this round. At the end of round 1, if you have any pie tokens left, they are discarded. They don't last from round to round. The dog, however, will stay and guard your tableau in between rounds. The only way it moves is if somebody else takes a card that has that icon on it. What these will be good for later on, I'll go ahead and show you later on, but you can add these to the number that's on your card, and each token represents 3.14 points. And you can use as many of them as you want to up the value of your card. So now these are done, and number 3 will go ahead and take theirs. And I think what they're going to do is they really want lemons, so they can get possibly that card right there. So there aren't any lemons out, so we'll just go ahead and take this card like so, which leaves number 4 here taking their strawberries and another plum card. This person was the first person to have the highest card, so they will play another card out like that, and then in clockwise format, all of these are played out like so. But this person is going to say, you know what, 8, 5, 16, let's go ahead and just add 3.14 to that. So now this is a 19.14. This one gets flipped out, and it is a 14. So this person will be number 1. This person will be number 2. And then we have number 3 and number 4 over here. Now that this one has been used, it actually goes back to the pile, and they get to choose first. Let's see here. Are there any cards out there that he can benefit from? Well, kind of, maybe, possibly, but not really. So he's just going to go ahead and take this card, and it's going to become part of his tableau over here. And then number 2 says, well, we're going to basically choose violence today. They're going to take this card, which now allows them to have that stealing action, and they're going to choose to take this card over here, and when they take it, then they can also make that recipe. So this card will be discarded, and this card will be turned over to score points at the end of the game. And then the third person over here doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff that they can look for, but they're going to choose to take this card because they want to keep the doggy. So that will go there. That means that this person is going to get another plum, and they'll be able to take this card, which means that this person is going to be able to steal. And I think what they would probably steal is they are pretty close to getting this recipe done. So we're going to go ahead and just take that recipe from them, and that becomes part of our tableau over here. And everybody's token goes back at that point, and we move on to next card played. So that's how the game basically continues to roll, with people playing cards and then in number order choosing cards to add to their tableau, hopefully finishing recipes, gaining points. When you go to a second round, as I said earlier, these pies would go away, but the dog would stick around. And after you get done with the third round, you simply count up your finished recipes and how many points they have given you, and whoever has the most points is the winner. And that's how you play pies. And that's about that for pies. This is not a difficult game at all. It's probably trickiest, if I can use that word, when you're trying to figure out exactly what card would be the best card for you to take at any given moment in the round. That's probably where most of the tension resides. There is a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a take that element, but being able to steal somebody's cards from their tableau is a pretty nasty thing to do within the game, but there are ways to protect yourself from it, making sure that you're not holding too many cards in your tableau at a certain at any given time. When that dog icon pops up and you can protect your tableau, making sure you take that card if it helps you. Those are all kinds of the different kinds of decisions that you can make. But generally speaking, it's a very simple game, and it's a very friendly game for the most part. It does have some stealing things in it, but we'll get to that in just a few moments. Let's get to my pros and cons. So my first pro of the game is I think the theme is a good choice. It is just basically a set collection type of game with a trick-taking element to it, but I like the fact that you're using the ingredients to bake pies. I just think that's a cool theme to put around it. It brings back feelings of home, feelings of nostalgic type, very homely, calmly type feelings, and I think it was a great choice to make. I don't know how else to put it. I like the artwork on the game as well. It's very traditional, I guess you could say, but it also has a classy feel to it. So it's not like cartoony or goofy or anything like that. It just brings a level of elegance, if I can use that word, to it, and I think it was a great idea. So the theme and the artwork here is working well together, in my opinion, and games that look good are just simply more fun to play. So that's my first pro. Great choice on the theming and great elegant artwork. My second pro for the game is that it has familiar gameplay. And the reason I say that is because I have played a lot of different trick-taking games over the course of the years, and the familiarity of a trick-taking game is always inviting to me. I don't always like trick-taking games, especially when you play against someone who has been playing that game for a very long time and they have the cards figured out, and those people that can count cards are a little bit of a pain when you're trying to enjoy a game instead of just trying to win it. But I do enjoy the trick-taking element of the game. I don't really call this a trick-taking game. It feels like it, but really what that card is a bid to be able to pick a card first. So it's less, in my opinion, of a trick-taking game, although it does have that feel to it, than it is a bidding or an auction game, because you know how many cards are out there. That it's 1 to 24. You know the numbers that are out there, and you know what numbers you have, so you know what numbers everybody else has. You just don't know exactly who has what. So there is an element of that trick-taking there, but it feels to me less like a trick-taking game, more like an auctioning game, because I really did enjoy the gameplay here. It had tension in all the right spaces, and that's important for a game like this, at least in my opinion, so that it stays fresh and doesn't overcomplicate itself either. My third pro for the game were the special actions that that some of the different cards were able to avail to the player that chose them. I'm not talking about the set collection of the recipes. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about stealing a card from somebody else's tableau, taking 3 pie tokens, or allowing, being able to take the dog and have him protect your tableau. Those were all special actions that I thought were interesting. And we'll talk more about the stealing action later on, but I really enjoyed the pie tokens and the ability that they gave you to raise the value of your card on a subsequent turn. I also like that they don't go through to the next round. You have to use them. And I really enjoyed the dog mechanism as well, protecting your tableau. Now, it can go away at the drop of a hat, but there is a level of security that's there that I think is necessary when you have a stealing mechanism in the game. So I really enjoyed all of the special powers. I think they all worked well together, and that was a fun thing. My fourth pro is set collection, and that's one of the mechanisms that's in there because you need those different sets to build those different recipes. And this was a little bit of a different kind of set collection for me, though. It felt more like set collection on the fly rather than just building up a huge tableau that has all of these different collections in them. You really want to try to build those collections as quickly as possible and score those points as quickly as possible so that what you need or maybe that recipe isn't stolen from you by one of those other special actions. So it really kind of felt like set collection on the fly rather than regular set collection where you're just kind of building your tableau and you're going to score all these points at the end of the game. You're having to do it on the go. And I liked that. I thought it was really kind of a cool take on set collection as a whole. So that's my fourth pro. My one con of the game, and really it's not a big con for me because, as I said earlier, there are other actions that are in the game and there are other ways that you play the game that kind of help guard a little bit against it. But the stealing action on the cards is one that I have found in my experiences to rub people the wrong way. It takes, whenever you are able to take something from somebody else, and something that they were, relying upon, and you take it from them, and now their entire thing that they were trying to go for is screwed up. That really doesn't sit well with a lot of people. And for me, it didn't really mess up the game's feel that much. I still really enjoyed all of my plays of the game, but I did see it in other people kind of get, they kind of got deflated when they were stolen from, or something to that effect. And that's an unfortunate thing, but if you can come at this game just simply realizing that it's there, while it sucks, understand it doesn't play that long. This isn't a long, drawn-out game where you're formulating your strategy over, an hour, and then somebody says, pop, nope, you're not doing that. That's not this at all. It's like, okay, somebody took my card. I'm going to just have to find something else to do with it. It's that kind of thing. It's not a big con, but I do want to mention it because in my experience, I did see it deflate people more often than once. Some handled it better than others. Some just shrugged it off. Some you could really see that they were deflated. So I had to mention it here as a con. It's not a huge one for me personally, but I did want to mention it just to give everybody the heads up. As far as my rating is concerned for the game, this is a strong 8 out of 10. I really enjoy, there have been a lot of games that I've been playing recently that have a trick-taking feel to them, but they're not really a trick-taking game, and this is one of them. You're playing a card out of your hand in a trick-taking style or format, but it's not really you're taking all of those cards. You're just being able to choose one. I really like that. Almost like it's a transaction rather than just winning a trick. I really enjoy it, and that's one of the reasons why I really have enjoyed this a lot. Generally speaking, it's been well received by the people that I've been able to play it with and teach it to. So that's another reason why it's got pretty high marks from me. Over on the flip side, we do thumbs up, so that's a 2 thumbs up from me as well. It's not a very deep financial burden either. I would highly recommend purchasing the upgrade pack, and the only reason I say that is because I did it. I purchased the game and I purchased the upgrade pack. These were not review copies that were just given to me, so I think I can feel comfortable encouraging you to do the same. It really does raise the aesthetic value of the game to one that is just more fun to play. Having those wooden pie tokens instead of cardboard ones really makes a big deal. And the dog is replacing just a card that would sit on your table. I like the 3D element of having that dog meeple. Should we call it a deeple? Let's not go there. Anyway, it really helps at least for me, an aesthetic enjoyment of the game. So take that for what it's worth. But anyway, thanks for joining me here on the Dice Tower. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.